I tell y'all what's on my mind?
Hey, let's get it up.
Can I get a couple of things off my chest?
Okay, let's get it up. Gotta keep my do-rag on and on. I'll never take it off my dome, even at home. Why's up? It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son. It's your kinfolk, William Jewell. Listen to my details as I'm articulating. This is articulating. Rap. And should I get straight to the point, right? Should I get straight to the meeting of the mind? Should I get straight to the talk of the town? Should I get straight to the rumors, to the gossips, to the he say, she say? Should I get to the Kendrick Lamar diss? Should I get to the future album, We Don't Trust You, right? And I see that there are trust issues. I see that there are some friendships that have been damaged. I see that things are looking differently in this hip hop realm, right? And now the elites will clash with each other. Now the elites have an opportunity to lead the way with their torch or get burnt down. Now, J. Cole, you wanted to be great. You wanted to be the best. You wanted to be considered the king in your generation, in your era. You wanted to be the one that was talked about as a god when it came to this hip hop shit. Now, this is your opportunity. Now, this is your window to say something, to speak your piece, to pretty much win that number one spot over, because we know you've been consistent. We know you've been putting out heat. Might delete volume 1, volume 2, the organic friendships, the organic conversations, just that organic natural vibe and natural feel that you've been putting out on these blogs. We love it. We love a happy story. We love a good feeling in the bottom of our bellies. We like to see that you're having fun with your life, but now you have to put a couple of things on hold. Right now, it's your opportunity to get into the studio, and for this next album, The Fall Off, right? It's an opportunity to show your lyrical prowess. And, we know Kendrick took the shots, right? He took the headshots. He didn't try to shoot the vest. He didn't try to do no leg shots. He aimed right for the head. He didn't do any subliminals. He didn't hide behind any clever lyrics or anything like that. He just was a straight shooter. He was JJ Redick, Kyle Korver, right off of pick and roll, right? Pick and pop like Klay Thompson, right? Don't even need to dribble, just drains one. And I believe that's what Kendrick Lamar did to Drake and J. Cole. I believe he drained them, right? Not only of some of their confidence, not only of some of their energy when it comes to their willingness to make fun-loving hip-hop songs, right? But now they know that a war is coming. Now they know that a battle is brewing. Now that they know that the boogeyman is back, either they will hide their heads, tuck their tails, and get underneath their blankets and wait for morning to come. Because when it's darkness, right, that's when we can see who's the Bane and who's the Batman. When it's darkness, that's when we can see who's the Blade and the vampires, right? When the darkness comes around. So I believe this is dark. I believe this is spooky, as Drake would say. I believe this is scary hours. He says, sneak this, and first person shooters better come with 3 switches. You better come with everything you got. You better come with all the ammo, all the artillery to end me, to end my career, to end what I've done as an artist, as a legend in this hip hop game. Y'all clicking up. Y'all on teams, y'all being best friends when y'all supposed to be competing against each other. Nothing wrong with having a friend in this industry. Nothing wrong with seeing that mutual respect shared between brothers, black brothers at that. Nothing wrong with that. But when it's time to hoist the cannon, when it's time to be in a life and death situation, especially when it comes to your career, right? Who will you want to be? Will you want to be number one? Will you want to be number two? Will you want to be number three? No, fuck the big three. It's just big me. Will you want to be the only one standing when the dust clears and the smoke settles? That's what Kendrick Lamar is saying. I don't care about these other guys. I'm the only name that you should be mentioning. I'm the only man that you should be talking about. We talked about you beating Michael Jackson's record with the most number one hits. We talked about Drake doing these things with First Person Shooter, a song that he recorded with J. Cole. Yes, you're on that level, but Prince outlived Mike Jack. Right? And he continues to keep putting these double entendres out there. He continues to say these things in that verse. And that verse was heard around the world. For all your dogs getting buried, it's okay with all those nines. It's Pet Cemetery, right? We going to straight to the grave digger site, right? We going straight to the graveyard. We gonna put a tombstone on your bitch ass, and that's really what it comes down to, right? We gonna end it because Drake, your pop, you don't even belong here. You don't even belong in the big three. Right? Because Future really should be in there as a rapper. Right? And I believe Future has something to say about the damaged relationship between him and Drake as well. We don't trust you. Him and Metro Boomin. I believe this is a great collaborative album. But even more than the Metro Boomin and 21 Savage, I believe Future possesses a certain presence within himself. I believe he possesses a certain aura when he gets on those type of instrumentals, when he gets into his melody bag, when he gets into his different flows. I believe Future brings a lot more to the table than 21 Savage. So when he gets on the production of Metro Boomin, I believe the impact is much more felt. The impact is much more solid. It's a direct hit. You understand me? And don't get it twisted. Even when we listen to that Like That song, even when we listen to that beat, right? Even when we listen to that Thug from Around the Way, even when we listen to that sample, we can see the mastery of Metro Boomin. We can see the production quality. We could see that this is a superstar producer. We could see Timbaland, Pharrell, Kanye West, Swiss Beats. We could see putting him in that category. We can see that Metro Boomin should be hoisted up, put on the shoulders of many rappers in this game and carried into the Hall of Fame, because Metro Boomin, what he's doing for these guys' career, like 21 Savage, and a guy who has a career that's already on an upward trajectory. A guy that's well known for his disses between Ciara and Russell Wilson, which on this album he kept it to himself because this was a little bit more personal. I think he was talking about an old friend. I think he was talking about a man who was pillow talking. I think he was talking about Drake. The one that said he cared about all his dogs. The one that said he was going to stand on business. The one that said he was going to stay solid. The man with the barrettes in his head, right? The man with the cheesy grin. The man who's a culture vulture. Who will steal from anyone to stay relevant. Who will go grab J. Cole, right? So he can rap on his beats. And he can turn them up a little bit, a notch. So he can grab all these littles and youngs, right? So he can grab Four Bats, the remix. So he can do all these things that he usually does to stay in the news, to stay with the noise. And Drake. Bro, it's a lot that's being piled on you, bro. It's heavy. I could see why you looked like stressed in that picture. Because we thinking about old friends. Old friends, and him and Metro already had a riff. Him and Metro already wasn't seeing eye to eye. But Future, you know, somebody that he did a collaborative album with. What a time to be alive, and what a time that was. And now that time has gone and passed, and look at the time now. Look at how friends turn into foes. Look how that fake written all over you, hate written all over you, fake written all over you, hate written all over you. And I really felt that. That made me emotional because a lot of men can relate. And we all know that talking down on another man to a woman is a direct violation of the code. We all know that pillow talking will get you slept. We all know that that's not manly. And sometimes we need to keep our thoughts to ourselves. Sometimes we vent to the wrong person about the wrong person. Right? And sometimes those things need to stay within our chest, needs to stay within our head. Because people use that to betray us. People use that to maneuver other people against us. And I believe that Drake got manipulated by his own words. Not only was Nicki Minaj pillow talking to Meek Mill about Drake using the ghostwriter, but Drake was pillow talking about Future. And that's what it seems like, and that's what it sounds like. And I hate that a woman, I hate that a God's gift to man, I hate that something beautiful, something so pure of joy could bring some turmoil to friendships. But I believe this was a great album, and sometimes we need that pain. Sometimes we need those obstacles. Sometimes we need adversity between our brothers to really get into that emotional back. And he showed us how emotional he was. He talked about the women. He talked about his brother, Young Thug, where my twin at. He talked about some of his issues with some of the men in hip hop, right? That type shit when you hanging with the rats, that's that new type shit, right? He talked about the Offset and Gunna situation. He talked about the Kodak and 69 situation. Even though Kodak got $1 million in a car, he still sacrificed the morals of hip hop to do so. So he still gets blame. He still gets held accountable. And I believe Future held them accountable on this album, right? I believe he got a lot of things out off his chest, and I wonder what he's going to say on April the 12th. I wonder what he's going to say when they drop the next album, because we know they're releasing 3 weeks apart. I wonder what more does he has to say that he hasn't already say. I wonder how many other features will he get to be so cohesive with him. Everything about this album was cohesive, from the features to the sounds to the beats, right? The production was amazing. I believe that Metro Boomin did steal the show. Right, he did more for this album than Kendrick Lamar did. He did more for this album than Future did. Metro Boomin is the mastermind. And I believe Future just let the music carry him every way that he needed to go. I believe Future let the production carry him to hit after hit. I believe Future let the production carry him to his emotional side, right? I believe Future let the production carry him into his trapping version of himself. I believe that Future let that production carry him into an elite level, an elite status, and it brought out more lyricism from him. Same way it brought out the lyricism that 21 did. I believe it brought out something inside of him, a spirit, right? A soulfulness that Future probably hasn't exhibited recently, but this is what Metro Boomin production can do for one, can do for the ears of others, and just can do for the overall quality of hip hop. Not just the samples, not just the trap, not just the 808s, not just the bass, but that feel, that vibe, right? And I believe that's why We Don't Trust You, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, it's going to be one of those albums. And right now it's kind of shaking up my top three. So right now, American Dream, right? American Dream from 21 Savage is in jeopardy, right? We Don't Trust You, I might have to put that 1. American Dream, I'll Still Rock With You at 2. And then give me that Schoolboy Q at 3. Vultures at 4. And then La Russell at 5. So that's where my top 5 is at right now. And that's hip hop, but I was listening to Sir, right? I was listening to the voice, the wisdom, the experience that he was singing about on his new R&B album Heavy. Like, sir, you really spoke to a younger version of me. You really spoke to a younger version of myself that was struggling, right? Trying to do right, trying to be loyal, trying to be faithful. You really spoke to that version of me that was trying to resist the temptation, that was trying to use the gift of discernment. You spoke to me, and that guy code, that manhood, that masculinity that we cherish so much. You spoke to me. Right, you said some things that I really resonated with, that I really related to, and that's the essence of R&B. The stuff that can touch your heartstrings, the stuff that can put you back in that emotional moment that you was in before when you was in a situation very similar. Situations where you were torn between two, situations where you felt like giving up but you wanted to put your best foot forward, situations where you know the woman deserved more than you were willing to give but you still put her through some bullshit. Those situations, god damn, I wish God would forgive me for those situations. I wish I could forgive myself for those situations. I wish these women, I wish the ladies that I did wrong would forgive me for those things that I did, the things that I said, the hurt that I caused, the pain that I gave them, because I wasn't mature enough, because I wasn't man enough to be truthful, because I wasn't man enough to be honest, because I wasn't man enough to give them the decision. Right? You can either take the free spirit or you can leave it. Right? So freedom ain't free, right? Freedom ain't cheap either. So you got to understand that. But sir, like, just the cohesion, the overall flow of this album, the overall feel and vibe that it gave me, like, and different melodies, you know, some a little bit more up tempo, some a little bit slower, just nothing too slow, nothing too fast, just right in that R&B pocket like I like it. And that voice, like, it was so mesmerizing. Like, your voice, it was kind of hypnotic in a sense, because it kind of like took me back to that time. It just kind of took me back to those exact moments. It was like a time machine. Your voice was like a moving time machine. And I really was able to, like, put everything that you said into perspective. And it just had that constant theme of a man that's trying to be his best for a woman, that sometimes he slips, sometimes he falls, but he tries to get right back on the horse, and he tries to mean well, and he tries to do good, but sometimes his good and sometimes his best isn't good enough for that woman, and it's up to her to decide. But whatever choice that she makes, he can live with it, and even if he can't live with it, he has to accept it. And I believe that was the overall message of this Sir album, and that's why I like this album. That's why I love this album. That's why this album is my favorite R&B album that has dropped this year, right? Probably my favorite R&B album since I heard Daniel Caesar last year. So, Sir, what does this mean for TDE? Right, even with the Schoolboy didn't even really sell that much. We didn't even talk about how many first week sales he had. He only had 35,000 sales, somewhere around that range. Right, so Schoolboy Q didn't even really do numbers. He definitely did not pick up the slack for Kendrick Lamar, but he released some quality music. So we know when we go to TDE, we're going to get some quality hip hop, right? We know that when we go to TDE, we're going to get some quality R&B, not from just Sir, but we have SZA, and not from just SZA, but they have Zachary, right? So I believe TDE has planted its flagpole in the ground and said, we're here to stay, amongst other companies like Dreamville, amongst other companies like CMG, amongst other record labels and brands out there. I believe TDE is one of the most unmovable parts in the industry right now, and Sir is proving that. And I proved that I had some intellect. I proved that I had some wisdom, and I wrote a book. It's called The Incline Press, a positive outlook towards the pains of discipline. Right? You can go get it on Apple Books. You can read it. Right? You can listen to it, the audio book. You can get on Amazon. You can read it. You can go to godswillfitness.com and I will give you a signed copy. So make sure y'all order y'all copies. And if you don't like to read, make sure you at least tune in to the audio book. And it's only like 2 hours. And when we think about an audio book, that's not really that long. I wasn't long-winded on the book, but I definitely was able to give a message. And sir, this album was it was 16 tracks, but it was 50 minutes. He wasn't long-winded, but he got his message across, and I can respect sir for that. I heard about Joyner, right? People talk to me about Joyner Lucas, said, you need to listen to that Joyner Lucas. He's telling great stories, right? And I've listened to Joyner before, and his storytelling abilities is comparable to very few, right? Comparable to very few. He's a great storyteller. He's a great lyrical artist. But Joyner Lucas, he hasn't touched my heartstrings like that. I haven't really related to him like that. So I will get to Joyner, but because of that, I didn't listen to Joyner Lucas. So Joe Sanders, I'll listen to your boy Joe. Why all my light-skinned friends like these light-skinned rap artists? Right? Why did light-skinned friends don't like any of these dark-skinned artists? Don't like any of these dark-skinned women? Right? And not all the light-skinned friends, but damn, that's just the question I got. Right? And is that the reason why I relate to Kendrick Lamar more than I might relate to J. Cole or Drake? Or is it just the music that much more relatable? Or can I really just feel his shoes a little bit more? Right? Because I think that's really what it is. I think not because I look like them, I relate to them. I think it's because how they can detail, how they can illustrate and paint the picture of where they are in their lives and what they're seeing and what they're trying to do to overcome these obstacles. I think that's what I relate to in my responses to certain things. And like Kendrick, maybe that Gemini side of him, maybe that assertive side of him, you know, and maybe it's the little man syndrome part of him that he ain't gonna take no shit, that he gonna assert himself, that he gonna let everybody know that he's that guy. And maybe that's why I like him, right? You know, maybe that's why I like the Russell Westbrooks. Maybe that's why I like the Ant Edwards. Maybe that's why I like the Kobe Bryants. Maybe that's why I like the Cam Newtons. I like the boisterous guys. I like the guys that's going to tell you it's my time now and I'm here. And Benny the Butcher, your time has come and gone. Everybody can't go has came and went. And you're still searching. You're still reaching. You're still trying to make yourself relevant by shaming Freddie Gibbs, by using his baby moms as a pawn. But I believe you lost a little bit respect, right? I believe your pettiness has put you at a pitfall because you're married, because you have a wife, and you put a black soprano family chain on another man's baby mama. You spent your cold, hard-earned cash, took it away from your family, right? And some businessmen could say this is an investment, but I believe that this investment will not produce dividends. I believe this investment has made your stock, has made your respect drop, in my opinion. Why are you doing this? Why are you being Benjamin Simpleton? Why are you like, I just don't get it. This is lame. This is corny. And Benny, like, I didn't expect this from you. Not the street guy, not the tough guy, not the guy that's been to prison. I didn't expect you to play these type of games. Like, let Freddie play these games. Let those internet, like, academics, let those type of guys play their games. But for a street guy like you, for somebody that's talking that talk, I don't think that's in your character. I really don't even think that's in you to be like that. And it just looks weird. It just looks awkward. And I feel like you sacrificed the income of your family to make sure that you could throw a jab at Freddie Gibbs when he just gave us the best verse of the year. Even still above the Kendrick Lamar verse. Freddie Gibbs on Back to Me, Vultures 1. That's the best verse of the year. Right? And then he got on Schoolboy Q, Ohio. So he's doing his thing. He's staying relevant. And everybody can't go might not be doing as well. So you reaching for more attention. And Big Sean needed attention. Big Sean needed attention, but Kendrick Lamar took it from him. Big Sean needed attention, but the Big Three situation took it from him. But the Future and Metro Boomin album took it from him. He released the song, and I didn't even listen to the song because I was so glued in. I was so tied in to what Kendrick was saying, to what Future was saying, to what Metro was producing, to seeing if there was going to be any responses. Right, Big Sean, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, brother. And I did like that freestyle that you did. And I always like your music. And I want to see what you're going to do this year. I want to see like what that's going to look like, how your music will develop, whether there be any growth between this Detroit 2 and this new album or this new project that you're coming with. So I look forward to that. But Big Sean, don't think of clouds above you. Every the darkest hour is right before day. So the sunshine is right after the rain. So just be on the up and up, keep your head up. And the fact that they are overshadowing you and people know what you were doing, that's still giving you some attention. So, you know what I'm saying? Just, I guess you got to take the crumbs where they fall. And damn, Erykah Badu versus Beyonce? The hairy armpit with the jiggly booty showing and the green onesie. Right, but you had those braids and you had those beads like Alfred Woodard on Crooklyn. And then Beyonce was on the Cowboy Carter cover and she had those same red beads and that same hairstyle. Not even after a month of you posting that viral video. And you said she stole your style. And her publicist said, no, she's already rocked this style before. You was not the first to do it. Right? And we know that there's a lot of hairstyles that's been tried in the past. There's a lot of things that were being done that we come back to after a while, like, the hot top fades, the retro cuts, the retro looks. And some people have done them. Some people are doing them. So you got to be respectable of that. And I don't think Badu liked the way the Beehive came after her after she made those disparaging comments of Beyonce copying her style. She asked Jay to help her. She thought that Jay-Z would send her a life raft, but he left her floating in the water alone. So Badu, we know that you are a trendsetter. We know that you are a trailblazer. We know that you're a woman. You're natural. You don't mind a little bit hair under your armpit. You don't mind a little bit hair in your legs. You don't mind a little bit snappy, nappy, dug out. You don't mind a little bit pubic hair, or maybe it's a landing strip. I don't know. Because you're natural. You're organic. And we love it. And you're 52. Oh my God. At 52, when you look that marvelous and you look that magnificent. Oh my God, Erykah Badu, your praise is worthy, right? But you don't have to take the shine away from Cowboy Carter. You don't have to take away the shine from Beyonce, right? Y'all should uplift each other. Y'all should be sisters. But pointing out that she took a style that you wore, that you didn't make or create yourself, I believe that was backwards, and I believe you didn't even do your own research before you said those type of things. So you got to check that type of thinking as well. Stop saying things. Stop speaking before you actually know what you're speaking about, before you actually know what you're saying. A lot of people have that problem. So, man, there's a lot going on, and I can't talk long. I said I wasn't going to go longer than 30 minutes. So this is William Jewell, giving you my detail as I'm articulating. This is articulating. Right.